You thought I was gone? Yet, here I am. In today's video, we're gonna talk about something that I think is really important for the prolonged usage of this TV. We don't want to be playing on this TV for 1,000 hours plus and never have the purity possible on these TVs. So I've made several videos, how to make the image look better, how to make the contrast more intense, and sometimes going overboard even. And yes, I can agree, sometimes it's not the best. So, in the last video we talked about something that is a little peculiar. We have some near-chrominous overshoot, we have some weird straight lines coming on the TV, the dithering effect, and we have the PVM flicker that ruins my eyes. Now, honestly, I do believe that if you sit in a dark room 10 hours a day and you play on an HDR TV or display, just in general, and it's large, big, you will ruin your eyes permanently. So I'm gonna repaint my room, it's gonna become white. I don't really know when I'm gonna do that, but really soon. And hopefully in time my eyes will recover. But for now, let's not talk about my eyes. Let's talk about the issue at hand that we need to be fixed. And we have already fixed it, you just didn't notice it. We're gonna go in here to standard, and this is how Game Optimizer looks with normal warm 50. So this is just copying the exact settings that Game Optimizer would have used without the black and white stabilizer subsets and warm 50. So what is the thing that is the issue here that we have to look out for? So we're looking at this washed out fog here, and boom, now it's clean. We can also see up here in the corners there is a kind of vignette effect going on in this game. When I go to standard with the old, it's like green, washed out, tinged over the entire display, and it looks smeary and clean. Now, I gotta utilize and say that the difference isn't huge, but I may say, for a second guys, it is immense when you notice it. When you look at the phone and you use remote play and you use your iPhone and then you go back into the TV and it just looks horrible, and then a lot better. The delay there was horrible. Let's see if I can do that again. There we go. Looks a lot better. Now, here's the thing. The TV still looks a little too green. It still looks a little too blue, cold. It doesn't really get Samsung QD OLED warm red tone-ish on the screen, and it never really makes the green grass here, the orange grass, pop like it does on the phone. No, we can't go that far, but I've gone as far as I can without colorimetry tools, and these are the settings that I recommend everyone to use from now on. And if I find out anything bad about this, I will tell you in the description of the video, and I will also make a follow-up video if I find even better settings, of course. So for now, how can you get this amazing image quality? Well, start with going into Game Optimizer, be either HDR or SDR, but for this video in particular, it's important that you do it in HDR. We're gonna go into advanced settings, brightness. I have it on 30. You do not have to have it on 30, you can do 100, but my eyes can't handle that, so we do 30. Dynamic tone mapping on. You can do HIG, that works as well, but for this video I do on. Expression enhancer off. Video range auto. Motion eye care, I have that on for my eyes, but you don't have to have it on, doesn't really do that much. Color, tint 0. Adobe RGB is important if you have it on auto detect. Some blue and cyan hues will be too blue and they will overshadow the colors underneath. You don't want that necessarily, so then maybe native is good, and that makes it even more blue, and some other colors overshadow other colors. Dynamic does fluctuate between auto detect and native, depending on what it feels fit, so it's an automatic thing. But if you do Adobe RGB, that blue cold tinge that was overshadowing the normal gray tones is now gone. So now the underlying colors from the grass here can look more green, and the gray scale here looks more gray. It's obviously just more plain, but good in this sense. Now, we need to make these colors pop even more. So we have done on fine-tune colors, user selection. We do -12 on blue. Green, we do +20. Cyan, we do -10. And yellow, we do +15. That's very easy. Now, I use reduced blue light. I think it looks a little bit more comparable. But you have to have this disabled, as we're gonna go in now and adjust the colors on white balance. This is where it becomes important. Try to follow as good as you can. Okay. 2-point scale, first and foremost. Do warm 40, not warm 50. It's gonna become too green. Warm 40. 2-point scale, low point, 0 on red, -30 green, -15 blue. High point, 0 on red, -25 green, -blue. Remember, we're still only in the 2-point scale method. I'm gonna check so that we can even see it on screen. Yes, okay, good. I'm gonna show you again. High point, low point, good. Now we're gonna go from 2 point, we're gonna skip 10 point and go all the way to 22. So we're not gonna be touching 10 point at all. So don't go into 10 point. We either go 2 point. No, sorry, not either. Forget the either. We'll go 2 point, then we'll go 22. So now we're in 22-point scale. 101, 101 cold value is the lowest we can go. That's the near black. We're gonna go -20, -20, -16. That fixes these like glitch lines that happens because of the dithering. You can still see it, but only almost at this point. If you have these 0, 0, 0, you're gonna see the dithering pattern very, very easily if you're close to the screen. So this fixes the dithering pattern issue for my panel. It might not do it for your panel, and you might have to dial this in differently, but try this and see if it works. It's also gonna remove this disgusting filter that I talked about before. Almost 100% of it, which is really good. Now we're gonna go up one step on the code value to 169, and we're gonna do -25. Up one step more, -25, up one step more, -20, so 270, -20 instead of 25. Go up one step more, -20, one step more, 20, and I'm pretty sure that we do this all the way up until we are at 1023, yes. Now we can go back to 2 point, and good. Now we can go out of there. We go clarity. I do high on the super resolution. We do high. Sorry, I am a little tired and I have a lot of jet lag from the vacation. Then we do reduce blue light. Now it's done. We don't have to do anything more. I will go into the standard preset. I don't have prevent input lag on because this makes the screen flicker like a shit ton, and it breaks the gamma when in 120 Hz. The near black becomes way too bright. So yes. Fine tune dark areas. I don't touch this because it adds a lot of black. It adds a lot of color banding. We don't want that, so we're not gonna touch that. Make sure that black stabilizer, white stabilizer is at 10, which are the default values. If you want to change this, go ahead, but know that when you change this and you dial it down, the grayscale becomes bluer, and if you dial it up, it becomes more cyan gray. So in a way, we have dialed down the blue tint a little bit by going up here, but we have also diluted all the colors of the spectrum. So don't do it I don't recommend it, but in some games it might be preferable to dial this up and dial the black level down a little bit. It can make the screen look a little bit more clear instead of washed out. Very, 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 very not a common issue. Like it's in Arma Reforger has this issue. In that game, it might be a good thing to do, but I wouldn't do it in other games. White stabilizer, you can still dial this down to make this more aggressive. I think it looks cool, but my eyes can't handle it anymore. So sometimes I even go 15 to reduce the white. But the default value is the most preferable one here, I would say. Then 50 on black level. I like the adjust game sharpness on 28. I think that looks sharp and good, but I also have bad sharpness eyesight. From 2 meters away, the TV looks a little blurry, so 28 is good for me. If you have really good eye sharpness, have it on 0. Go ahead, but I think it's too blurry. Not the TV is not blurry, but for my eyes it's too blurry. So I like 28. Don't hate me in the comments, guys. Now, here's the thing. Color depth on the TV. If you go 49, you will see that there's a little bit less blue in the fog here. It's imperceptible now because we've done the calibrations, but if you don't do any of my calibrations and you go 50 and then 49, you're gonna see that the blue fog here becomes a lot less blue. Like it's super noticeable. I have no idea why this is. I think it's just the TV is wrongly calibrated from factory with something somewhere. I don't know what it is though. So this could help you if you don't want to do the entire thing, but it won't reduce the dithering patterns. And again, the dithering patterns are still here. It's just they're a lot less noticeable. Some people have been writing about that issue on Reddit and the AV forums. And yeah, it is noticeable, but it's not a game breaker for me. I don't think it's that big of an issue. But yeah, if you want to get rid of the dithering patterns as much as possible, follow this video and it should become less of an issue. And so leave this at 50. You can punch this up as much as you want, but blue is going to become an issue. You might get some color banding and fog might break. Yes, it breaks there for me, and there it's okay. So it's a kind of a deviation. 65 seems to be fine. Yeah. But if you don't want any issues, just go 50. I'm gonna go 50 because I feel if the color is supposed to pop and be bright, then it's gonna be bright at 50. And in some games it might look a little desaturated, but then it's artistic intent. It's supposed to be very desaturated. Now, if you're somebody that uses the TV speakers, well, I would recommend go with game genre standard, AI game sound off, game equalizer. For the most purest sound from the TV, don't touch this at all. But if you gotta touch it, go in and adjust it like this. 552 0 0 0 0 0 3 5. That's gonna amplify the speakers a little bit with their nuances so they sound a little bit more bass heavy. But no, it won't be as clear and clean in the audio. So I wouldn't use that, honestly. But if you want a little bit more bass, go ahead. It's gonna drive the subwoofers a little bit more in the TV, if you can even call them that in the first place. I wouldn't really. Don't use the AI game sound algorithm. It's gonna really dilute the audio quality from the TV speakers and make it sound very, very, very tin canny. I wouldn't do that. Dolby Atmos, if you don't have a really, really high-end soundbar for like $1,000 and up, don't use this. It's just gonna dilute the audio quality. In the advanced sound settings, it's pretty simple actually. You're just gonna go in here, go down, make sure that the DTV audio setting is Dolby Digital, match screen and sound, bypass, select HDMI input audio, HDMI 1, bitstream. Don't use LG sound sync. It's just gonna turn off the pass-through. and not allow you to use surround mode if you have surround headsets or surround speakers. And then, so off on this one, and then digital sound output pass through. That's important. If you have an optical cable and you plug it into the TV, or an eARC cable, and you use auto, it might always go to PCM because that's the linear mode, but pass-through is even more linear. So pass-through always allows only the native sound signal. If you go to anything else, it might not work all the time. So pass-through will make it more seamless. eARC support if you're using an eARC connected device like a soundbar. But I don't recommend anyone to use a soundbar. I hate soundbars. They sound really tin canny and bad. Sometimes really bass heavy, but yeah, I don't recommend that. If you want a really good sound system for $300 or $200, somewhere around there, Logitech has the C906 system, 5.1 surround, 200 RMS bass, I think it is in that thing. I have it, I own it, I think it's absolutely amazing. And if you want the best audio quality possible, buy a Sound Blaster G6 DAC and a DT990 Pro's headphones. You won't have a microphone though, so that's an issue, but you will have the best audio quality on the market possible, I would say, if you wouldn't want to pay like a dime and a half. So, thank you guys for watching this video. This has been an experience. I've just come home from South Korea, and I'm gonna get some very much needed sleep because 14 hours of flight is immense. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.